When we first got to France, we were so excited to go market shopping. As you probably are, the markets are amazing, they're beautiful, it's part of the culture. But when we got here, what we didn't expect is how intimidating it can be sometimes. Just you don't want anyone to yell at you. Sometimes you're not sure what the rules are. There's a million choices. We didn't expect any of that. So this video is basically about the things we wish someone had told us when we first got here. Hi, I'm Raina.
And I'm Jason.
We're Baguette Bound.
To start with, make sure you bring a bag or a basket. Or if you see one of those rolling carts, get one and take it with you. That's exactly what they're for.
Yeah.
If you buy giant tomatoes or a melon, oh, they're going to get heavy. And you're going to wish you had brought one of these rolling carts with you.
Yeah. But I broke out this little bag when we first walked up. Always good to have one of these. Pack one in your suitcase. Because you'll get these little brown bags, but as soon as you buy more than 2 things, you don't have a way to carry them. All right. Next up, go with a plan. We think this is like, it sounds silly, but an often overlooked piece of advice. Because you don't really expect something that is fun and you've been looking forward to can also like feel really overwhelming and kind of paralyze you with all the choices as you're shopping. So we actually have different shopping approaches at the market.
Yeah, I like to walk the whole market first.
The whole thing.
The whole thing. Yeah, exactly. You know, checking for if you say we need the best tomatoes and looking for the best ones and the best price.
That's what he's looking for, the best price.
Yeah, probably.
Not me. I just want to like move through the market, enjoy it, and I'm just going to buy the first. If I need tomatoes, I'm going to buy the first ones I see. So you have to figure out what works for you. But what we want to tell you here is that like we had this vision when we got here that we would just show up at the market and we would buy what's seasonal, whatever was calling out to us.
Yeah.
And then at the end, we would have everything we needed for a 3-course meal and we were done.
Voila.
Voila. And then?
But in reality, we would usually get home and realize we had this huge basket of beautiful, probably cheap produce and nothing to actually put together a dinner that night. What are we doing here?
Yeah. So have a plan, whatever that is.
Yeah. Today, in spite of the weather, it's supposed to clear up later. We have one purpose today, and that's to just shop for a picnic. So we're in search of some sausage, some cheese, and maybe a little fruit as well.
Yeah. The spicy one.
C'est piment.
Oui, ça.
Oui?
Ça. Forte. Piment forte.
Bonjour, monsieur.
Bonjour.
Be prepared to be more patient and wait for longer than you might expect. It takes time to market shop. Vendors in France do not rush people. And you can be assured when it's your turn, they will take all the time you need and give you all of their attention. But until then, they will likely not acknowledge you at all. And that is totally normal. So while you're waiting, another thing that felt very strange to me was sometimes like the lines and knowing where to wait at the market is not as obvious as you would think. I mean, as Americans, we line up. And I want to know I'm standing in the right place. I don't want to get in front of you if it's not my turn, but I also don't want you to skip me.
On peut avoir des wait, how much technically?
How much?
How much?
Petit pot for like 3 people.
On peut avoir des Saint-Nectaire, un petit peu comme pour 3 personnes.
Petit morceau de. Ça dépend, c'est gros, tu manges beaucoup. Ou tu manges un peu.
Un peu.
Donc je sais pas, regardez, il faut faire comme ça. Donc un crunch comme ça, 2 crunchs.
Oui.
Ah,
oui. Merci.
Here's the thing. It's okay. You are just gonna like stand there, stake out your spot, pay attention. The vendor is gonna help people. I swear it's like they magically know who's next. And at some point, they will make eye contact with you and you will confidently step forward and take your turn. And then, in that moment, when it is your turn, step up there and for the love of all things holy, say bonjour.
Bonjour.
Bonjour, monsieur.
Bonjour.
Bonjour, monsieur.
Don't start with a question. Don't start with your request. Just acknowledge the other person's humanity by saying bonjour.
Yes, this is more than a greeting in France. It is a sign of respect. And don't be afraid to use the only words that you know, even if they're just s'il vous plaît, merci, and au revoir. It's all really appreciated.
And if you're feeling really spunky, you can throw in a bonne journée at the end.
Yeah. So, this is a big question. Can you touch the produce or not? You will see all over the internet and on many blogs and YouTube videos, people telling Americans, don't touch the produce. You cannot touch the produce. So this is real sometimes, but there's other times it's not. You're supposed to like do it yourself. How do you know what is what? So at first, of course, you can just watch what other people are doing. But we find one of the easiest ways is to look and see if there's like these plastic baskets or little bags set in easy reach of the shoppers, like on your side of the table. Yeah. If you see this, it usually means you gather up your produce and then you're gonna present it to the vendor when you're done to pay. If you don't see this, that's when you can pretty much expect to just get in line and the vendor's gonna gather the produce for you when it's your turn.
Pricing and paying. This was another scary situation.
Oh yeah.
Not only are you converting to French, but you're also converting into kilos. And it's pretty easy to order twice as much as you need or think something is twice as expensive as it really is. Because you're still thinking, I'm still thinking, in pounds.
Yeah.
Things may be priced per piece or per kilo. You just have to look at the signs. And prices must be marked.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they have to be marked.
Yeah, they weren't one time in Nice and I paid €9 for a basket of figs.
Be suspicious if the prices aren't out. When all else fails, though, you can always ask for the appropriate amount for the number of people you want to serve. You don't have to guess at the kilos or the weight. Yeah. Just say 12 personnes, 4 personnes, 5 personnes.
At the end, the vendor's going to add everything up and give you a total to pay, which of course is another moment of terror because we were always like, are we going to understand the French number? Are we not? So our solution for this in the beginning was to do some quick mental math. So we had some like general idea of the total and then just always hand the vendor what we knew was too much money and then wait for them to give us change.
Works.
Yeah. Although sometimes what will happen is they will ask you for like a coin or two to make it easier to make change. And at that point, the gig's up. You just might have to admit that you don't know French. And what would happen to us is sometimes we would just end up holding up a handful of coins to the vendor and they would take the appropriate ones.
And it always works out.
Yeah.
And I know you're probably like, but what if they take more than they're supposed to? Well, that's your I don't speak French tax. It's usually not very much. And honestly, we've never had that happen.
We're joking.
At least I don't think so.
Yeah. I guess we wouldn't know, would we? Yeah. So if you're wondering, you can bring a credit card to the markets. They are accepted, but not always. And I mean, vendors usually do prefer cash.
In France, produce must also be marked with the location of origin, so you can see where all of the fresh fruits and vegetables were grown. But many market vendors will also display the names of the towns or postal codes or region that the item came from. So check the signs. And not only is it cool to know exactly what village the strawberries came from, but this can really give you a good guess to how fresh these things might be. In the markets in the US, we would always be able to get a coffee to go. Get one, drink it as you're walking around. But here in France, it's really hard to find coffee to go at the market. So do like the locals do. Just stop, sit down at a cafe, take a quick sit, and have a cup.
So here in France, markets are grocery shopping excursions, and you may find some that cater to tourists, but for the most part, people do actually grocery shop. It is not just a place to go wander on Saturday morning and buy $40 jars of honey like it can feel sometimes in the US. The prices are usually really good. The
vendors are really serious about their goods, and don't be afraid to tell the vendor when you plan on using the item or what you're using it for. They probably know the produce better than anyone. and might be able to give you some advice on which apples or which specific tomatoes are the best for your needs. One final tip. Just don't plan on buying bread at the market. While it's really common to find lots of great baked goods at farmers markets in the US, this is much less common here in France.
Yeah, the baguettes actually are usually hanging out around the corner at the boulangerie. So if you like this video, you might enjoy our US versus France food culture video. And until then, thanks for watching.
See you soon.
A bientôt. What you like about the market?
So my favorite thing about the market is whenever they have like pastries, or when they have like crepes or grenades or beignets or apple fritters, all the sweet things. I'm not sure if you figured that out yet, but when there are cheese samples, I love that. That's great.